Mitchell brings us some answers from Jerusalem.
The statement by the Crown Prince was a first for a Saudi leader. He said, "I believe the Palestinians and the Israelis have the right to have their own land." His statement is one of many changes from Prince Mohammed. He's permitting Saudi women to drive. He opened Saudi airspace to a commercial flight to Israel. And earlier, he said the kingdom would be a place for all religions. Evangelical leader Johnny Moore believes Ben Salman's changes signal a new day in the Middle East.
I couldn't believe my ears, actually, when I was watching the news report where the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia said directly, verbatim, he said, "This kingdom will become a kingdom for all religions." I had to watch it again. He was crystal clear. Now, when you think about this, I mean, this is Saudi Arabia, and yet there is this new openness.
Many explain this new openness as an indication that Ben Salman wants to open up Saudi Arabia to the world. One more example, on April 1st, Saudi Arabia issued their first tourist visas. Middle East observers also see the growing relationship between Saudi Arabia and the Jewish state as a sign they both recognize Iran as a common danger. The Crown Prince even called Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei worse than Hitler.
So they will stick to anyone who shares their fear from the Iranians.
Islamic expert Mordecai Kadar believes Saudi Arabia is living out the saying of the Middle East, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend."
They feel much more vulnerable than Israel. First of all, they are closer to Iran than Israel. We have buffer zone like Iraq and Jordan. They don't have any buffer. And the most important thing is that the Iranians want to take over Mecca and Medina to resume the Shi'i caliphate.
But Kadar says Prince Mohammed arrested many of his own family and could reap what he has sown.
He actually worked totally against the tradition of the desert, of the Bedouin tradition. They will never forget and will never forgive. They are waiting for the moment to take revenge, I'm more than sure.
In the meantime, Moore sees the winds of change in the Middle East.
It's a new day in the Middle East, and it actually seems like the Prince of Peace is at work.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Thanks, Chris. Pat, some bold moves and bold statements from the Crown Prince.
It's a bold move because, you know, the House of Saud made a deal with an extremist religious group to maintain power, and the religious group has had a major impact on the Saudi life. And now the Saudis are saying, no longer. And this Prince Salman is charting a new course. The problem is somebody will try to kill him. That's prescription for assassination. But we hope not, and I think the idea of he understands that if the Shias come to prominence in Saudi Arabia, they'll overthrow the House of Saud. And so he understands that Iran is his major enemy, and Israel is not an enemy of Saudi Arabia. And the Saudis have, behind the scenes, been trying to make some kind of a concession with Israel for a long time. And I tell you, I was flying in a private plane coming out of Africa, and we had a flight plan across Saudi Arabia. And the Saudis said, the airplane that is coming up, would you identify yourself? We identified ourselves. And they said, you must divert. And we were trying to, save fuel. We had to, go across Saudi Arabia. And they said, if you continue your course, we'll shoot you down. So they weren't playing. Those guys were not playing. And we had to divert and go, in order to get to Oman, we had to go all the way around Saudi Arabia and come up on the other side. But now they've actually allowed a civilian plane to come in. They're allowing flights to Israel. I mean, the whole thing it's a new day.
It almost seems too good to be true.
Well, it is. Well, they've got a lot of money, and it's interesting. But again, the nations that are coming against Israel do not include Saudi Arabia. They're not one in the Bible, but what is in the Bible is Iran. And Iran is coming, and they're doing everything they can to destroy Israel.